If you're looking to moving up here to Alaska and you're wanting to rent it first, you're probably thinking, okay, great, this is going to be simple, so much easier than trying to buy a house now. We're going to be able to find a lot of options. Well, not always the case. What we've seen recently is that there are less and less vacancies that are available. This has been shown statistically in the numbers in an interview I did recently with Rob Krieger, which the episode, that interview for that is going to be in the Alaskan Journey podcast. There's a plug for the podcast. Check that out. Description section down below. That should be dropping in a couple weeks here. But we are seeing fewer and fewer vacancies, which means the competition is really on for those of you who are trying to find rentals. And if that's the case, we do want to make sure we give you some pro tips that are going to help you to really find the property that you're looking for and try to create some more options for you. My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor in South Central Alaska. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams, and my mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching in real estate. And today we're going to be talking about the pro tips for finding a rental property if you're moving up here to Alaska. Before we get started though, give this video a like, subscribe, and let's jump into today's market update. Let's jump into today's video. Now, the first pro tip or strategy or whatever else it is you want to call it, if you're trying to find more options than what you're currently seeing, go to Airbnb, okay? And when you're going to Airbnb, you want to go find properties where it looks like they're kind of struggling, and you want to approach those hosts directly and just say, hey, I'm moving up here and I'm interested in doing something a little bit more long term, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. What would you charge on a per monthly basis in order for me to move into the property? And that can work, but one thing I do want to say, you are not looking for the one that's got like 50 plus reviews on there. They've got 5 stars. They're booked all the time. No, you're looking for the runt of the litter. You're looking for the one where the pictures suck. They're on an iPhone. It'll look kind of dark. The lighting is all weird. And they've got like 1 or 2 reviews on there, and their availability for bookings is just wide open. Okay, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the runt of the litter. These people are very likely would at least consider it. The big thing that I would say is if you're going to approach a host directly, just understand you are going to need to sign a lease. And if the host isn't aware of that, you need to make sure they are aware of that. Because, you're not a guest. If you're staying for longer than 30 days, you're a tenant. And there's different rules that are going to apply to that. So as long as the host is aware of that and they're okay with it and it's going to be a win for them, then I think that could be a great option. But again, you want to make sure you find the runt of the litter. Don't go find the person that's just making a ton of money and just killing it on Airbnb. You're not going to get a good response. Second place I would recommend you go check out, if you haven't already, I would say this is probably kind of a give me for most people these days, but if you're trying to find somewhere to rent, Craigslist is still a decent place to go and look. It's not necessarily the place most people would just naturally gravitate towards. You do still see some posts out there on Craigslist. So, do go check it out and see if you can find something that way. And third but not least, if you're looking for just places to go check out some places on the local Facebook marketplace here in Anchorage, or really anywhere in the entire state. You're likely to find some places that are going to be posted up that way from private landlords. And that's usually going to be a pretty good source for you because that's actually where I've noticed most of the local landlords prefer to put their stuff. So go look at the local Facebook marketplace, but also go find some local Facebook groups. Buying, selling anything in Alaska, or, buying, renting, blah, blah, blah. Go find these Facebook groups that are out there and see if you can get into them and be able to really get a good idea for what's available currently. Now, we're going to get into some more fine-tuned strategies in just a second. Before we jump into the rest of it, though, if you haven't done so recently, I kind of mentioned the Alaskan Journey podcast just a little bit ago. That's a podcast in which I host people who have recently moved up here to Alaska or have lived up here for a while, and they're talking about their experiences. Do make sure you go check that out in the description section down below. And if you'd like a copy of my relocation guide for those of you who are considering moving up here, do also make sure you reach out to me on my website. Link for that is going to be in the description section down below. Just make sure you put relocation guide in the comment section so I know what to send you. Now, let's go and finish today's video looking at some more fine-tuned strategies you can use that's going to set you apart. Nobody likes getting rejected, but every now and then you're going to apply for a property and it's just not going to make sense. The owner is just going to say, sorry, you don't qualify for this reason, this reason, this reason, and it's just a no-go. Or, someone was just quicker in getting their application in. And that's just, welcome to trying to find a rental property in Alaska right now. But instead of just saying, well, blah, I'm walking away from this whole thing, ask the landlord one more time, hey, so I'm sorry this didn't work out, but do you have any other units that are going to be coming available in any time here? Or do you have another property, a house or something that's going to be available in the near future? Because sometimes they do. And when you do this, they've already got your application. They're talking with you, so at least they're considering you. And if you know about that ahead of time, you might be able to cut straight to the front of the line with that one. So that's a big one. Make sure you do keep that communication line open and you don't just throw up your hands and just, I wouldn't say burn the bridge, but certainly walk away from the bridge and pretend like it doesn't exist anymore, okay? Use the bridge that's there. Let's take a break real quick. If you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you do know that I focus primarily on the South Central Alaska area. And while that's going to remain the case moving forward, we are actually going to be partnering with our colleagues across the entire state to bring you market updates for what's going on inside the markets of each one of the big market centers here in the state of Alaska, looking at Fairbanks, Kenai, Homer, Kodiak, and Juneau/the Southeast area. So this is going to be a very exciting project called the Trailblazer Project. I've not seen this done in any other state before, where we are bringing you all the market updates for the entire state under the roof of one channel. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So when you guys are seeing market updates coming from people who aren't just me on the channel, you know what's going on there. If you guys are really nice, then we might actually be able to convince some of these folks to actually provide some more content and talk specifically about what it's like living in their market. So when you see these videos pop up, make sure to jump over there, give them plenty of likes, plenty of love, give them lots of comments. And just know that that's fulfilling kind of the mission we still have on the YouTube channel to help you build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching you in real estate, whether that be in South Central Alaska or anywhere else in Alaska that we have our colleagues in at the moment. So just want to make you aware of that, and let's go on and finish today's video. The next strategy that I would recommend is call the larger rental companies here in the area. Now, when I say that, usually Widener is going to be the one that most people are going to think of. There are some other ones, but usually Widener is going to be the lion's share for the rental market here in the area and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Do you have any that are coming available? Or, do you have maybe some at properties that I'm not currently seeing? And they're usually pretty well connected. You can see that they kind of have some negative reviews on online on Google. And usually that's just because kind of negative people are more likely to be the ones that are going to be leaving those reviews. And trust me, if you're dealing with tenants for any amount of time, you're going to find out there are a lot of mean, nasty people. All the mean, nasty people in the world need somewhere to live, and unfortunately, it's going to be a landlord's responsibility to deal with said people, and they're going to leave nasty reviews no matter what you do. So, yes, Widener is good company. You're going to have some nasty people out there, and call them and see what they can do as far as finding a place for you. This next one, this is really going to hurt for a lot of you, but don't try to haggle. For the love of everything that's good and honest, don't try to haggle. Okay, unless something is just ridiculously overpriced or you don't agree with this and that, and okay, it's time to walk away. Okay, in this market, you don't really try to haggle over the rental price. Okay, the cards could not be any more not in your favor than what they are right now. So the average rent has gone up by approximately, I think it was 14%, no, 12%, if I recall correctly, for the entire state. Which means that if you are trying to haggle over a price right now, then chances are it's probably realistic what they're asking for, and you're probably going to lose out to somebody else who's just going to recognize the reality of the situation. So don't try to haggle, and if doesn't work for you, then just walk away. Now, this next one, I know I'm going to catch some heat from the dog lovers out there and animal lovers, and I get it. Love pets myself, but do not try to make your emotional support dog sound like a service animal. These are two very, very different classifications. Unless you have a bona fide service animal that has the certificate and the training, don't try to go in there and say, oh, my emotional support dog is not a pet. You can't charge me for pet rent on top of that. Don't do that. Two very distinct classifications for what they are. A service animal is certified, it is trained, and it's there to do a job. It's a working dog or a working pet. An emotional support dog, it's a good thing. And most landlords know they're just going to see it as a pet. So if you're in a competitive situation, don't try to save a little bit of money on your pet rent. Just accept, hey, unless it's got papers and I've gone through all the proper channels, don't try to pull this on it, because a good landlord's going to know what their rights are, and they might not even engage. So these are the tips for those of you who are considering finding a property to rent when you first get up here to Alaska. I hope it's been useful. Do make sure you give this video a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.